Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. So this is the second week of July, a few more weeks, and we have the rains retreat getting started, and weather is cooling down, so it's good to it's a good time to kind of draw in. It's good to also getting ready. We're getting ready. Doing some pile burns, getting ready for the rains retreat. It'll happen in a couple of weeks. So I thought, of course, some of you know that during the rains retreat, we put a lot more emphasis on the formal practice of meditation. It's less work. So it's also a good time to address the topic of, meditation or samadhi. We all, most of us obviously, come to the monastery to want to learn how to meditate, to want to still the mind. We all want peace. We sit down and we do focus on our breath, our mantra, or different things. We try to still and calm the mind. Yet, why is it that the mind is not peaceful? Well, certainly putting in the hours, certainly the desire is there, but samadhi is it's a highly desirable thing. Yes, something that's good to question. Why is it that my mind is not peaceful? And obviously, a lot of it has to do with habits. Obviously, we spend most of our days thinking, moving the mind around, thinking, commenting, comparing, judging, which all these moves the mind. And of course, when we sit down, it's unrealistic to expect the mind just to drop all that and become more still, because we've been moving it all throughout the day. So that's part of the reason. The other reason is a sense of self, I think. It's easy to have samadhi when your mind is pure, when you don't have a defilements or attachments, as people say. Because as most you know, right, at least theoretically, for you to be with the breath constantly, to be with one thing anyway, by default, you have to drop every other thing in the world. So it's for you to be with the breath minutes on end. The rest of the world has to disappear. Not only the world has to disappear, any sense of self also has to disappear. Otherwise, there's a sense of self, there's self-referencing, there's self-wanting, there's longing, and the mind will go towards that instead of being with the object of meditation. So it's a good reflection to mind. The less of a sense of self you have, then the easier to focus on the breath. And knowing that we all have a reasonably sense of self, sometimes too large, then it takes time to kind of rub away. It takes time to let go of the thinking mind, let go of attachment to thinking, to comparing, to judging, to just normally commenting. And when we sit down to meditate. But it takes time. Meditation, stillness, samadhi is a skill that each and every one of us can cultivate, clearly. But it also It's a skill that sometimes is anti-intuitive in all that we do throughout the day. Because the moment we wake up, the moment we sleep, we see everything in terms of a self. I like this, I don't like that. I like this person, I like this thing, I don't like the other ones. And it's the more we reinforce the habit, and the more the mind moves. And so when we sit down, we find that it's not so easy to drop all that and just to be with the breath, or be with the body. But with anything, it is the training. The more you do it, that's why obviously a lot of people say, well, logging the hours is not everything. It isn't. But it is helpful, certainly in the beginning, to put in the time, to put in the effort, to just to put your bum on the seat and watch, or at least try to still the mind, try to focus on the breathing process, try to bring the mind back to the present moment, to the here and now. Because we don't do that, and we allow the mind just to run around, and of course that forces build up, and the mind will never be still. We don't train it. So knowing that the mind needs training, it takes focus, it takes perseverance. Also, it takes faith. You have to believe that it's worthwhile. You have to believe that it's something that you can do as well. It takes faith in yourself, faith in the practice, and faith in Buddha. But faith is the beginning. It's important to the beginning, but it takes all the way to the end. It is the constant practice of putting the effort day in and day out, and not getting caught up in the judging yourself that you're not getting anywhere, it's not worthwhile. You could do a lot of other things, but just sitting, having faith in the Buddha, that the training is worthwhile. And then occasionally the mind does become more still, more subtle, and you feel it, you get the feeling of peace, what it feels like, the joy and bliss of stillness, of emptiness. You realize, this is what they're talking about. This is what it feels like when the mind becomes more still. But also sometimes it's good to focus on, or to another way towards Samadhi is like the soft mind. The mind that is not judging, the mind that is not craving, the mind that is not full of wanting and craving. It's a soft mind, pure mind. We hear that a lot. And sometimes some people are born with it, some people just have to work harder at it with any skills. And so sometimes, throughout the day, you bring awareness. Where is your mind? What things are you thinking of? Are you inclining towards wholesome states of generosity, of giving people benefit of doubt, of gratitude and appreciation? Or are we incline the mind towards judging, wanting, aversions, and fault-finding? And as long as every day, every moment throughout the day, we're inclining the mind towards gratitude and appreciation, incline the mind towards wholesome states, and you find that when you sit down, it's easier to drop the thinking mind. It's easier to be with the breath. It is not used to thinking, comparing, judging, fault-finding. But with anything, like I said, it is a gradual process. And it's just not this lifetime, from Buddhist cosmology. We've been doing this for many, many lifetimes. Some people have been doing it longer than others. But it's something that is worthwhile. And you see that, it is, over a long, long time. Then we put in the effort, but we don't expect, results right away. We know these things take time. Even from a perspective of our lifetime. But sometimes we've been indulging the thinking mind, the planning, the wanting, the longing mind for many, many years. And we come and meditate for a couple of days and we expect it to be completely still, to have great samadhi. That's just unrealistic. So Ajahn Khemavaro says, most people put in a little investment, but they want a huge return for that. And then, so it's something that's unrealistic, and we set ourselves up for failure. But if we put in the investment, put in the time, the hours, day in, day out, just sitting, walking, just calming the mind, just bring it back to the present moment, bring it back to the body. We do it consistently over many days and weeks and months and years. You'll see it is working. That the mind becomes more still, more centered. And there's an increasing sense of clarity and energy in the mind that you haven't noticed before, that is growing. And you see, it is worthwhile to calm the mind. So you see clearly craving starts to unravel, diminish. It's not through seeing clearly that we crave and we want things. You see clearly that all is suffering, all is stress, all is non-self, all is impermanent. Then why will we crave for anything? You look at the food, the beautiful cake that we're eating, beautiful food that we're eating, if we remember that by tomorrow, the next day, ends up in the toilet anyway. And what's the point of craving for nice taste, nice food? We have a clarity, remember, attached to this body. And then we see, in 30, 40 years' time, we're going to get all decrepit and old, and we're all going to get sick and die anyway. So what's the point of attaching to this body when we know it's so temporary, it's so fickle? Just not that much happiness involved. It's not through seeing clearly that we attach and we long for. Sometimes it's through habits as well. With samadhi, with clear seeing, with clarity, the mind lets go automatically. Sometimes when we practice, we feel, I've got so much craving, I gotta let go of this, I gotta let go of that, I gotta do this, and so much things that we have to do and let go of. But it's not, in the beginning it might be like that, but after a while, you find that the mind just lets go naturally. Or when there's peace and contentment, then you don't find that you don't need the rest of the other stuff that you sometimes think about. And it's through contentment or through clarity that the mind becomes more content. But it is the path that each and every one of us have to walk ourselves. And that's what the monastery is here for. Mostly, it's a place that we support each other through goodwill, to coming together. But so much of the work, a lot of it, most of the work, is each and every one of us have to do that ourselves. Your practice, your realization is something that you, each and every one of you, have to come together and realize for yourself, where is it that you're attaching? Where is it that you're craving? Where is it that you're making suffering for yourself and others? And how to let go? How to deal with the different issues that arise in your own mind? How do we grow in gratitude? How do we grow in goodness? How do we grow in contentment? complexity. We move towards more simplicity, towards unity, and towards emptiness. Those, each and every one of those questions, we all have to answer those ourselves in our own different ways. We can be inspired by what the Buddha said, inspired by what the meditation masters relate to us. But it is in the present moment, it is in our own mind and body that we have to resolve different issues that each and every one of us face by ourselves. Well, the center of the monastery is here to encourage the development of wholesome states, development of the mind. And so much of it is, it's just not what I'm saying, it's not in the books, but it's in your own mind, your own heart that is resolved. As we come together, we support each other, we also find inspiration. Each and every one of us, see the changes over a couple of days, or it's changed over months or years. So the Dhamma is working, irregardless of our differences, our personalities, how we come to the Dhamma. We all progress towards the same, towards increasing sense of peace, towards increasing sense of stillness. So that's why it's interesting. We all have our own personality, but it's a lot of non-self in that way that the Dhamma works. No matter who you are, what gender you are, what you identify as, tall, short, Caucasian or Asian, smart, not so smart, talented, or dull, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the Dhamma, is truth. And we grow towards goodness, grow towards more peace and kindness. And with that is an increasing sense of happiness. You feel within yourself. And you see in others as people progress in Dhamma. This is the beauty in their appearance, the inner beauty. Beauty of peace and stillness, the beauty of contentment, beauty of kindness. So as we're getting ready for the rains, whether we're here for a weekend, here for a few weeks, here for the whole rains, or we think we're here forever, peace is something that's worthwhile. Stillness is something that is rare in this world. We live in a world that moves very quickly. And sometimes people confuse movement with progress. So I was reminded, someone tell me, movement is not progress. Sometimes being still is progress. You see where it is that you're making mistakes. With stillness, there's clarity. With clarity, there's wisdom and compassion. It's through stillness that we can transcend making suffering for ourselves and others. It is through stillness that we see through the delusion of the self. It is through stillness that we see that there's nothing worth craving for. Sometimes it's just a habit. But mostly it's not seeing clearly. So it's good to be back in the monastery where it's quiet, relatively, it was peaceful. We spend our time with a community of like-minded people, supporting each other on this, at times, very personal journey that we all take. But also, at other times, it's quite communal. We're walking in the same direction towards our own peace and liberation. Hopefully, helping each other on the way. Hopefully showing each other the way towards peace and liberation. There's something that's worthwhile, something that's beautiful, something that's rare in this world. Peace and stillness. So I offer those words for your reflection this evening.
Anvayam Dhamma Varagata Sadhutara